This week on Bison Insider, Jason Berger talks with the 2013 All-American defensive end Gilbert. And I talk with head coach Chris Jensen about the heartbreaking 28-21 loss against Langston last week. This is Bison Insider. Hello and welcome inside Bison Sports Network studios. I'm your host, Jonathan Pulasic. Oklahoma Baptist University, coming off a heartbreaking 28-21 loss to Langston last week, has Haskell Indian Nations University this weekend at 0-6. Jason Berger had the opportunity to catch up with starting defensive end Gilbert to get an inside look on what he has thought about the season.
We're here with the 2013 All-American Mr. Gilbert at defensive end. How you doing today, man?
Doing good.
All right. So you've had pretty good success the last few weeks, but have found things to work on also. How do you think the season's gone so far?
I feel like we've done well. We've already won more games than we won last year, which is, a good thing. We're building on last year. Definitely not satisfied or, happy with how the games we lost have gone. Obviously, I would love to be undefeated right now. But overall, I feel like we've given good effort and, just been going out and playing hard and trying to represent OBU well.
Right. Second year of the program, like you said, you guys have already won as many games as last year. Do you think it's off to a better start?
Records-wise, for sure. And then, overall with the, incoming freshmen and the talent we have that we've brought in, I feel like, we've definitely made progress since last year, and hopefully that just continues on.
Sure. You're nominated captain of this team. Do you think you're more of a vocal leader? Do you think you lead by example, or do you do both?
I would definitely, call myself more of a lead by example kind of guy. Never really been the guy to, really pump everyone up or, anything like that. Definitely something that I'm trying to work on, just being more vocal and, doing that. But, when it comes down to it, I want people to know, that I'm going to do my job, I'm going to do what's right, and, try to set the example.
You're 7 games into the season. What keeps you motivated going down the road?
7 games into the season, still playing for, conference bragging rights and, the hope of playoffs, chances have gotten a lot slimmer, but, definitely we want to do all we can do for ourselves to put us in the best possible position to, maybe get a shot at the playoffs.
How do you feel about the rest of the schedule coming up? Do you think it's possible to win going into homecoming all the way?
I definitely feel like it's possible. We play some teams with, not necessarily the best records, but, there's a reason you play the game. Upsets happen all the time, so we definitely can't overlook anybody. But, always going into a game, I feel like, we're going to come out on top. And, I definitely think that's a very real possibility for the rest of the season.
What has been the focus in practice so far this week as far as the defensive side is concerned?
We've just been trying to work a lot on, tackling, wrapping up. We've had little issues with that at times. And, mainly just doing our job. A big thing about our defense is we don't want to give up the big play. If they can sustain a drive on us and drive it down, we're a lot more happy with that than them getting a quick one-play score. And so just keeping everything in front, doing our jobs, being sure our assignment is covered, and we feel like as long as we're doing that, we'll we'll win the battle defensively.
Now, I've got to ask, just from my own perspective on this one, what is it like just completely obliterating a quarterback or someone in the backfield in front of thousands of people? Just for my sake, give us some insight what that's like.
I mean, it's a pretty good feeling. You know, guys kind of mess with each other about, you know, talking about, you know, so if you get a sack, if you do something good, you know, do you have something you're going to do, or, you know, whatever. And, you know, usually, like, I'll come up with some sort of response, but, you know, in the moment, you know, I just get real excited, and everything that I have ever thought of just, you know, totally goes out the window. It's just all emotion at that point. So it definitely feels really good. Definitely something that, you know, I feel can pump up the defense and get us motivated, and, you know, just a lot of fun to see someone else do it, or to, you know, do it yourself.
Thank you, Kimes. Thanks for coming out today. Kimes Gilbert, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Jason. Next off, I got the opportunity to sit down with head coach Chris Jensen and talk about this past week and the challenges upcoming against Haskell Indian Nations. Coach, coming off of a 28-21, with the lack of a better word, kind of a heartbreaker here at home, how have the guys responded this week at practice?
Well, considering how the game went with Langston last year, we've come a long ways, and you know, we're disappointed because we had plays to make there. It's not like we were barely clawing our way back. I mean, it was in our hands, and so you have the ball inside the 5 with less than a minute to play, and you'd like to make those enough plays to get it in the end zone, and so that's what's disappointing. But still, we prepared the way we need to last week and kind of turned a corner, I think, in our preparation with those guys after the heartbreaking loss the week before. And so we were pleased with the effort. Still knew that we had a chance to make some plays there to win the game at the end, and that's what's disappointing.
Every game this year, over 50% of the plays during the game have been rush plays, 70 this past week compared to 20 passes, continuing to pound the ground, as people say. 26 rushing touchdowns that Haskell has given up on the ground. How do you guys attack them this week in the ground game?
Well, you know, it's one of those things is you definitely don't want to look at their record. They are capable. If you'll watch their film, they're capable of stringing some good defensive plays together and slowing teams down. And so a danger for us will be trying to hit the home run all the time. And you know, that's when you really stub your own toe. We'll just need to stick with the game plan that we've had. Trust in the guys up front to get the job done blocking their defensive front, and then trust our running backs to find the holes.
0-2 start in conference is not the way that you wanted it, obviously. Taking this little kind of mid-conference break, how do you continue to push forward and waiting for the rest of that conference season coming up?
Well, you can't waste any time, and that's what we've talked to the players a lot about this year, especially when we started off 3-0. And you know, you can get into a situation where you feel kind of comfortable, and you need to maintain an edge all the way through. And I think we lost the edge 2 weeks ago, but we got it back this last week. And so going from playing a team with such high emotional investment involved as it was last week with Langston, to going to playing a team that's winless on the year, it's a challenge as a coach to keep an edge with your players, and so that's what we're really focusing on. We don't want to look at this as, you know, we're only preparing for this game. We're not. We're preparing for the end game. We want to play our best game, the last game of the year. So that means that this next game needs to be better than the last game we played.
With this upcoming week, what really is your biggest key that you're wanting to get back on track with before the rest of the conference season? You
know, I think taking the field focused, having a great week of preparation regardless of the opponent, regardless of what the scoreboard says, playing down by down, minute by minute, and you know, staying focused and making progress, playing better this week than we did last week.
Well, best of luck to you this week.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for joining us on Bison Insider today. Don't forget to go like our Facebook page at Bison Sports Network. Until next time, I'm Jonathan Pulaski. Good night.